Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to use a cleanser and sunscreen. Those are the two essential steps to do in a morning skincare routine. So you want to make sure that you're starting off with a freshly washed and cleaned face using your cleanser, and then you're moving on to sun protection so that you can protect the skin from the damaging UV rays, which can lead to sunburn, premature aging, hyperpigmentation, and even skin cancer. So those are the most important steps to do in the morning. And so I want to break it down starting off with the cleanser. So you can go with any cleanser that you may have at home as long as it feels comfortable on the skin, does not irritate your skin in any way, nor dries out your skin. And it should be able to properly remove any excess oil, dirt and sweat from the skin, and even any residue which you still have on the skin surface from the night before when doing your evening skincare routine, so that you will actually end up with a freshly washed and clean face. Now, there are different categories of cleansers that you can find on the market, and I'm trying to generalize them so that you understand that there is a difference based on how you should use them, so that you're not going to blindly follow my guide if you're using a different cleanser. Starting off with the first category, which would be oil and balm cleansers. So those are usually cleansers that are being applied to dry skin, and then later on you're going to rinse it off with lukewarm water to warm water so that you can properly get it off the skin. Then you have treatment cleansers such as salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide, which are, for example, great for acne-prone skin. And in that specific case, it is advised to apply it on wet skin most oftenly, and that you even should leave it on the skin for about 1 to 2 minutes before rinsing it off again with lukewarm water to warm water, so that the treatment can work for a specific skin concern. And then lastly, those are the most common cleansers, would be regular cleansers for different skin types. Most oftenly, you're going to use it on wet skin. However, sometimes, specifically if you have a regular cleanser that's suitable for dry skin, it can even tell you that you should use it on dry skin and then even later on rinse it off with water, or take it off the dry way, depending on how dry your skin may be and the cleanser that you're using. So my main message is, please read on the back of the packaging on how you should use your cleanser. The instructions can change, and the time for how long you're going to massage it all over your face and neck can change as well. So we have the look with the treatment cleansers for 1 to 2 minutes. However, if your usual cleanser or oil or balm cleanser does not tell you any time at all, then it's usually between 30 seconds to a minute, so that you have enough time to blend it all over your face and neck, to get every corner, every area, to properly then wash your face so that there's no residue left. And so I want to get started with the cleansing steps. So I'm going to use Cetaphil's Daily Facial Cleanser. This is one great example of a regular cleanser that's great for combination to oily skin. If you're using a different one, replace it. That's completely fine. Read on the back of the packaging on how you should use it. So in this case, again, it is advised to apply it on wet skin. So the first step that I'm going to do is now wetting my face with lukewarm water to warm water. Then I'm going to use about 1 to 2 pumps, or about a coin size amount of the cleanser, on the palm of my hand, rub my hands together, and then I'm going to massage it all over my face and neck. Make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. If that's the case, it can be quite irritating, does not taste well. Please rinse it immediately with water. And then when rinsing it later on off after about 30 seconds to a minute, you can take your hands to get most of it off. However, depending on the cleanser that you're using, or depending on the residue that you may have on the skin, using your hands alone may not be enough to make sure that everything comes properly off the skin. And this is where I always like to take, specifically when doing this above the sink, a soft and fresh washcloth in between, which I'm going to wet. And this really helps to take off any residue that's still left on the skin surface before I'm going to pat the skin dry. So this is a really great tip that I can share with you to do in between. Now you can wash your face above the sink, as already mentioned, or take the cleanser with you in the shower. Either way is fine, just make sure that you're going to properly remove it from the skin. So let's go ahead and do this. So, as you can see, the soft and fresh washcloth that I just have wet is able to remove the residue that's still on the skin surface based on the cleanser in that specific case. And so there you are making sure that everything comes properly off the skin. And now I'm going to rinse it again with my hands, and then I'm going to pat the skin dry. So now go ahead and take a fresh towel and remove the water drops from the skin surface by patting it dry. So once you're done with your cleansing step and you have pat the skin dry, you can immediately move on to the next step, which is now the application of your sunscreen. Now it is important to pat the skin dry before applying your sunscreen. Please make sure that your skin is not wet, that there aren't any water drops anymore on the skin surface before doing so. Otherwise you're just going to smear it around, and it can, like, first of all feel very weird on the skin, and it may not blend well and give you not the desired protection depending on how you then are going to blend it all over. And so when it comes to your sunscreen, you can find moisturizers that already contain SPF, you can find regular sunscreens, and specific sunscreens are also meant for specific skin types. If you want to have like a matte finish or with shine whatsoever, you have your choice. So go ahead and choose the sunscreen that fits the best for your skin type and overall preference, so that it feels comfortable on the skin. Your sunscreen should not feel irritating on the skin. If it does, I highly advise to go with another one. Like, check it out. It can sometimes be a bit tricky to figure out what's working well for your skin, but if it feels uncomfortable on the skin, you're not going to wear it, even though it is important when being exposed to the sun. And so when doing the application, there are two main key points to keep in mind, and this is, first of all, apply your sunscreen 10 to 15 minutes before sun exposure, and use enough so that you can properly blend it all over your face, neck, even décolletage, depending on how much exposure you have on your décolletage, as well as your ears. And so as a general guide, this can be adjusted depending on the sunscreen that you may have, but as a general guide, go with about half a teaspoon. So I have one right here so that you can see the measurements. And I recommend starting off with half a teaspoon. If you feel like, well, for the size of your face, maybe this like texture of your sunscreen that you may have, you can go ahead and adjust it, add a bit more, a bit less. But the main message that I want to share with you is to use enough, to use a fair amount, to be able to properly blend it all over, to have an even protection so that you're not missing any areas. And so I have a few examples right here: moisturizer with SPF, sunscreen for all skin types or even for drier skin types. So again, you have your choice. And the one that I prefer the most is COSRX Aloe Soothing Sun Cream. This is just one example, and I'm going to use that one to demonstrate the application, and I'm going to put it into the spoon as well so that you can see the amount. So again, about more or less of half a teaspoon. And I'm going to put this in the palm of my hand so that I then can blend it evenly all over. So first of all, I'm going to make sure that I have enough product on every area that I want to cover. So my ear, I have my face, my neck, and a bit of my décolletage, because I do have some exposure on my décolletage as well. And so when doing it on the neck, don't forget the back as well, because this is where you often can get a sunburn, specifically if you have shorter hair. Now, depending on the sunscreen that you may have, you can use it around the eyes if it does not irritate your eyes in any way. With that specific sunscreen that I'm currently using, it does not irritate my eye, it does not like burn or sting, or nor do I need to tear up. So in that specific case, I can use it without any concerns around the eyes. Just again, make sure to not get it into your eyes. However, if you're using a sunscreen that feels overall great, but you may have some sensitivity around the eyes, well, what you can do is leave out your eyes and wear sunglasses during daytime when being exposed to the sun, or look for a sunscreen that you can use around the eyes as well. So once you're done with the application of your sunscreen, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, when do you need to reapply your sunscreen? Well, this mainly depends on your day-to-day activity. If you have days where you have tons of sun exposure, you sweat a lot, you may have done some workout outside where it's going to move around or even wear off, well, then the reapplication right after that is really important to make sure that the protection is still evenly all over your face and neck. Same would apply to your body as well. However, if you just have a little bit of sun exposure, like going to work, school, or just in between, having a break, going outside, where you do not have a lot of sun exposure, applying it properly in the morning may already be enough for the entire day, so that you do not need to think of the reapplication. But again, you need to adjust it depending on how your day is going. And so if you want to see an overall general sunscreen guide with all the important points, and you want to learn more about skincare tips in general, you will find all the PowerPoint slides in the description box down below. You just need to click on the link, then it will bring you to a site where I'm uploading them. You just can have a look at them online or even download them if you find the guide helpful. And so this is what I wanted to share with you on how you can properly use your cleanser as well as sunscreen, the two most important steps to do during daytime. If you find this video helpful, you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give the thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to learn more about skincare in general, you want to see the different applications, I'm going to leave some of the videos at the end of this video, but you will find more on this on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye.